Today we are going to look at 9.5 parametric differentiation, and our objective is to solve the first and second parametric derivative. But first, let's look at what is parametric equations. If x equals to gt and y equals to gt, where x and y are the equation of the curve, y equals to fx, so we have x equals to gt and y equals to gt. The third variable t is called the parameter, and this is what we call as parametric equations. So by using chain rule, to find first order derivative dy dx, we have to find dy dt multiplied with dt dx. To find second order derivative d square y dx square, we have to differentiate dy dx first with respect to t, and we have to multiply with dt dx. So if we cancel this, and we are going to have d square y dx square. So that is how we find the first order and second order derivative for parametric function. So let's look at a few examples. Now let's look at example 1. Find dy dx and d square y dx square in terms of parameter for each of the following. So we have 3 questions here. So let's solve A first. So to find dy dx, we have to find dy dt and we multiply with dt dx. So we can find our dx dt from here. So our dx dt is 3t square. And we can find our dy dt. Our dy dt is 2t. So to find dy dx, remember, the formula is dy dt multiplied with dt dx. So our dy dt is 2t. And we have to multiply with dt dx. But we have here is dx dt. So we are going to reciprocate the function. So we have 1 over 3t square. That is our dt dx. So the answer will be 2t divided by 3t square. And we can cancel the common factor. So the final answer will be 2 over 3t. And now let's find d square y dx square. So our dy dx just now is 2 over 3t. Our dy dx is 2 over 3t. So to find d square y dx square, we have to differentiate our dy dx first with respect to t, and we have to multiply with our dt dx. So to make it easier to differentiate, I am going to convert this expression to become 2 over 3t to the power of negative 1. And now to find d square y dx square, we have to differentiate our dy dx with respect to t, which our dy dx is 2 over 3t to the power of negative 1. And then we have to multiply with our dt dx. Our dt dx is 1 over 3t square. 1 over 3t square. So we differentiate our dy dx first. So the answer is negative 2 over 3t to the power of negative 2. And we can multiply with 1 over 3t square. And now we have to simplify. So we have negative 2 over 3t square multiply with 1 over 3t square. So the final answer will be negative 2 over 9t to the power of 4. So that is the answer for question A. Now let's try question B. We have x equals to 2 over t and y equals to 3t square minus 1. So I am going to rewrite x as 2t to the power of negative 1. And then finding dx dt, the answer is negative 2t to the power of negative 2. And then let's find our dy dt. So our dy dt is 6t. So to find dy dx, remember the formula is dy dt multiply with dt dx. So our dy dt is 60, and we have to multiply with our dt dx. Our dx dt is negative 2 over t square. So our dt dx is 2 square over negative 2. So finally, we obtain the answer. 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. And t multiplied with t square is t to the power of 3. So this is the answer for our dy dx. Now let's find d square y dx square. So to find d square y dx square, we have to differentiate our dy dx with respect to t, which is our dy dx is negative 3t cubed. And then we have to multiply with our dt dx. Our dt dx is t square over negative 2. Okay, so the answer when we differentiate negative 3t to the power of 3 is negative 9t square multiply with t square over negative 2. So the answer is 9t to the power of 4 over 2. Now let's do question C. We have x equals to 2 sec t. So we have x equals to 2t to the power of half. And y equals to 5 sec t. So we have 5t to the power of half minus 4t. And to find dy dx, first we have to find our dx dt and our dy dt. So our dx dt is half multiplied by 2, so we get 1. So we have t, and then half minus 1 is negative half. Okay, so that is our dx dt, or this is equals to 1 over sec t. And then to find dy dt, first we have to multiply 5 with the power, so we have 5 over 2. T to the power of half minus 1 is negative half. Minus with differentiate 4t, we get 4. So now we have 5 over 2 sec t minus with 4. And to find dy dx, remember the formula is dy dt multiply with dt dx. Okay, so our dy dx is our dy dt, which is 5 over 2 sec t minus 4, and multiply with our dt dx. Okay, this is our dx dt. So our dt dx is sec t. Okay, so we can find our dt dx by reciprocate the dx dt. And then we can expand. So 5 over 2 sec t multiply with sec t, we get 5 over 2 minus with 4 sec t. So this is our dy dx. And now let's find d square y dx square. So to find d square y dx square, first we have to differentiate our dy dx. And our dy dx just now is 5 over 2 minus 4 sec t. And then we have to multiply with our dt dx. Our dt dx is sec t. So don't forget to differentiate our dy dx first. So differentiating our dy dx, differentiate 5 over 2, we get 0. And differentiate negative 4 sec t, we have negative 4 to the power of 2. And t to the power of negative half. And multiply with sec t. And this is equals to negative 4 over 2 sec t multiply with sec t. So the final answer will be negative 2.